In that case, we discuss the different functions related to the database system. Then next we can consider, that is, what is the defining of the database, what is the construction of the database, and what is the manipulation of the database. The corresponding example can also discuss in the last lecture. Now today we are consider the next point about that of the database management system. Now this is the figure. In last lecture we are remaining that particular figure. Here we consider the database system. What is a database system, or what is the graphical structure of that database system? Now you can see this particular figure. From this figure, you clearly explain the database system. What is the database system? Now, in this case, before this database system, we need to consider the database management system. Okay, database management system, it is the another part, and database system, it is the another part. Okay, database management system, it is one of the software, and database system, it is nothing but a particular system which is used to handle, which is used to store the corresponding database. Okay, now in this case, database system consists of different components. First of all, we need to consider, here we see the at the top of this particular figure, we consider the user program. What is user program, or which input is given by the user to the database? It is given from the user, or it is given from the programmers. Okay, then next thing is nothing but the database system. Under this database system, we can see the different components which are interrelated to each other. Here, application program or queries, which is given by the user or the corresponding programmer to the database system. With the help of application programs, we can give input to the database management system or database management software, or with the help of queries, we can insert our details, or we can insert the corresponding information into that particular database. Now this is the part of a database system. Here in currently I can say that that is database system, it is different than that of the database management system. Database management system, it is one of the software, and database which includes the database management system. Okay, database system मध्ये तुम्हाला database management system चा use त्या ठिकाणी करायचा आहे. Now that software can be considered at this particular point after the application program or the queries handled with the database system. Now when we consider the database management system, we can see this particular inner square. In that square, we can have a software to produce the query program, and that queries or program is handed over to the software to access the stored data, and these softwares used to access the stored data, that is data can be stored on the database, stored database, or it can be stored database definition, that is nothing but the metadata. Now for that we need to consider what is the metadata. Metadata in the sense that is data about a data. Okay, we can consider one single chapter. Okay, that single chapter, it is nothing but the name of the chapter. We have a first chapter, that is introduction to the database management system, and under this particular single chapter, or under this particular single line sentence, we can have a brief description about the terms used in that database management system. That is nothing but the detailed information under a particular data, that is nothing but the metadata. ओके, डेटा अबाउट डेटा. आपल्याकडे डेटा म्हणून काय कन्सिडर केलं आपण, एक त्या चॅप्टरचं नाव ॲज अ डेटा म्हणून मी कन्सिडर करतोय, परंतु त्या सिंगल चॅप्टर नेम मध्ये पहिल्या चॅप्टरचं जे नाव आपण कन्सिडर केलं, त्या एका चॅप्टरच्या नावाच्या अंडर आपण 30 ते 40 पेजेस इन्फॉर्मेशन काय करतोय त्या ठिकाणी स्टडी करतोय. दॅट 30-40 पेजेस इज नथिंग बट द मेटा डेटा अबाउट द डेटा विच इज नथिंग बट द नेम ऑफ युअर चॅप्टर. त्या चॅप्टरच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग ती सगळी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपण त्या ठिकाणी स्टडी केली. नाउ वी कॅन स्टोर सच अ मेटा डेटा इन दॅट पर्टिक्युलर डेटाबेस डेफिनेशन, and we can store some database here also. That is, with the help of these are the multiple definitions, these are the multiple databases available in your database system, in the given database system, and we can access that databases with the help of software to access that particular stored data. With the help of particular softwares, we can access the particular data from the databases. Okay, it is comes from metadata, or it comes from the particular database which is the sorted database, or it is the short database. Okay, now here software to process the query or program, this software can be considered, that is, if we in the last lecture we are considering, that is, I want to access some information, I want to get some information that is given in the form of query. बरोबर, तुमचा जो क्वेश्चन असेल, तुमचा जो प्रॉब्लेम असेल, तो आपण क्वेरीच्या फॉर्मॅट मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी देतो. नाउ दॅट क्वेरी कॅन बी हँडल विथ द हेल्प ऑफ पर्टिक्युलर सॉफ्टवेअर. process, okay, or the corresponding program will be used here, and these two things are comes under the database management system softwares, okay. That is, when we use these database management software system into the database system, that is, we can combine these two things. If we can have a database system, then we need to consider the database management system also. Without database system is incomplete part. Now we can see this particular simple database system structure with the help of this particular diagram, that is user program given to the application program or queries, and application program queries hand over to the database management software, which contains the processor of that particular queries, and after processing the query, it can access the data with the help of some software stored from the databases, and from the database we can get the data. आता ऍक्सेस करायचं असेल म्हणजे रिट्राईव्ह करायचं आणि नवीन डेटा त्या डेटाबेस मध्ये तुम्हाला स्टोअर पण करता येतो. अशा पद्धतीने त्या ठिकाणी काय केलं जातं, ह्या दोन गोष्टी किंवा हे डेटाबेस सॉफ्टवेअर डेटाबेसेस आणि हे डीबीएमएस सॉफ्टवेअर त्या ठिकाणी यूज करून तुमचा जो काही डेटाबेस सिस्टीम आहे ती तुम्हाला काय करता येते, इम्प्लिमेंट करता येते. नाउ वी कॅन सी दिस अनदर figure. Now it can show the how database management system acts an interface between the application program and data stored in the database, okay. Now here we can consider the end user. This is one of the end user, this is one of the end user, and here output given to the end user also, okay. Now here we pass, that is end user interact with the database management system with the help of a particular application request, okay, and that application request process in that particular database management system, and in that database management system can access some data from the server which is connected to the internet network or on the local system. That is, here this arrow can show the particular server or the database where it is stored, and the application request comes in the form of queries. जसं आपण या ठिकाणी बघितलं होतं की ऍप्लिकेशन प्रोग्राम किंवा क्वेरीज पास केल्या जातील सॉफ्टवेअर सिस्टीम कडे, डीबीएमएस सॉफ्टवेअर कडे. मग आता हे सॉफ्टवेअर या ठिकाणी प्रोसेस करणार, आणि ती प्रोसेस केल्यानंतर काय क्वेरी आहे, ती क्वेरी मधनं कुठला डेटा ऍक्सेस करायचा आहे, तो डेटा आयडेंटिफाय करून ती रिक्वेस्ट काय केली जाते, इकडे ह्या सर्व्हर कडे सेंड केली जाते. दिस इज द सर्व्हर which are connected with the help of network, multiple server which are available at this point. When data is received from the server, then that particular information or the corresponding result will be written in the form of data to the end user. That is the data to the end user. Now here we can see the single view of the data which is integrated. We can get the data, that is, here we can consider this is the database structure. This structure comes from this is given in the form of that particular stored devices. Now when end user see the particular data, it is in the form of these particular tables or in the particular structure, that is customer table or invoice information or product information. Such information can be shown. This is the filtered information. Only this we consider this particular representation. This information is the filtered information from the metadata. ओके, डेटा अबाउट द डेटा, मॅक्झिमम डेटा मधनं फक्त लिमिटेड डेटा जो त्या क्वेरीच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग असेल तेवढाच डेटा काय केला जातो, एंड युजरला त्या ठिकाणी शो केला जातो. दॅट इज नथिंग बट द interface. That is, DBMS can act as an interface between application program. This is the application program which run on the end user computer, and data stored in the database. That is, we consider this is the database structure, or this is the secondary storage or server where data which is to be stored. Okay, with the help of these particular two ends, the user can access the data with the help of this database management system. So it is a very important part in your database system. Okay. Now, next thing we can consider the environment, that is database system. What is actually database system and its corresponding environment? What is the environment of that database system? Now here, when we consider database management system software together with the database is called as the database system. Okay, database संगे जर आपण आपले database DBMS software जर use केलं, combine केलं, then we can have a complete database system. Without database management software, we can't access the data, we can manipulate that particular database, and without the database, we can not get the data with the help of DBMS software. फक्त सॉफ्टवेअर असून चालणार नाही, DBMS सॉफ्टवेअर असून चालणार नाही, किंवा फक्त डेटाबेस असून चालणार नाही. जर फक्त डेटाबेस असेल तर तो ऍक्सेस करता आला पाहिजे, तो मॅनिप्युलेट करता आला पाहिजे. त्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला डीबीएमएस सॉफ्टवेअरची गरज पडणार आहे. आणि जर तुमच्याकडे डेटाबेस नाहीये, फक्त डीबीएमएस चं सॉफ्टवेअर आहे, त्याचा सुद्धा काही उपयोग होणार नाही, कारण जो रिझल्ट तुम्हाला एक्सपेक्टेड आहे त्याच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन तरी कुठेतरी असणार गरजेचं असतं. ती इन्फॉर्मेशन कुठे असणार आहे? तुमच्या डेटाबेस मध्ये असणार आहे. दॅट इज द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ these two things, that is DBMS software and the corresponding database. We combine these two into a single unit. We call that unit as a database system. And how or in which environment this particular database system is to be run, that is which setup is required for the database system, we need to consider this in that particular point. Here we consider overall purpose of the database system is to record and maintain the information. That is, to record the information means what? To store the information into the database. Okay, to maintain the information means what? To keep secure it. We need to update time to time it. We insert new information into it. That is nothing but the maintenance of that particular information in that database. That is, overall purpose of this particular database system is to record and maintain that particular information. In simple words, we can say database plus database software is equals to what? Database system. That is, the combination of these two things can be considered as a complete database system. Now here database system can have four major components. Which are those four major components? The first one is nothing but the data. Data refers to the collection of facts stored in the database. Okay, those information which is stored into the corresponding database we called as a data, or we, in simple word, it is a collection of records. It is a collection of information. We can define any other type of the definition corresponding to the data, but it points to the facts, it points to the corresponding object information. Okay, that is, here we can consider collection of facts stored in the database. That is nothing but the data. Now, because data are the raw material from which information is gathered, which information is generated, no database can exist without a database. Okay, कुठलाच डेटा त्या ठिकाणी डेटाबेस शिवाय त्या ठिकाणी असू शकत नाही. तुम्ही गुगलवरती एखादी सर्च क्वेरी जर दिली, एखादं कंटेंट तुम्ही सर्च करायला जर गेलात, तर तिथे सुद्धा ती इन्फॉर्मेशन सर्च होताना किंवा फेच होत असताना कुठल्या तरी सर्व्हरवरनं त्या डेटाबेस मधनं ती इन्फॉर्मेशन आलेली असते. विदाउट द डेटाबेस वी डोंट हॅव, or the information or the corresponding data does not exist. That is the data. It is the most important component of that database system. Everything related to that of the data, we need to maintain the data. ओके, डेटा हा त्या ठिकाणचा सगळ्यात महत्वाचा भाग असेल. ती इन्फॉर्मेशन असेल तरच ती इन्फॉर्मेशन मॅनेज करता येते किंवा रिट्राईव्ह करता येते. त्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला हे बाकीचे सराउंडिंग्स काय करावं लागतात, त्यामध्ये यूज करावं लागतं. नाउ सेकंड थिंग इज नथिंग बट द हार्डवेअर. इट इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट पार्ट हिअर, because here hardware refers to all the system's physical devices. For example, our computer storage device, printer, network devices, etc. Those devices which are used to access the information, that is the hardware devices. Data stored असतो सॉफ्ट मटेरियल मध्ये, and we need to see that particular material, we need to access that particular material. We consider all the computer system related components here, that is the corresponding hardwares. And here, in case of the database system, we consider only those hardwares which are related to that of the database system. That is, in this case here, our data is stored on the particular device. Okay, that is storage media will be considered as a hardware in our database system. That is a computer storage device. We consider the hard disk. Okay, second thing, we print some content of the database. That is the printer. It is one of the most important. The network. Without network, we can't access the information from other location. तुमच्या कम्प्युटरवरती ती इन्फॉर्मेशन नाही, तुम्हाला दुसरीकडनं इन्फॉर्मेशन ऍक्सेस करायची. नाउ वी नीड और वी रिक्वायर द नेटवर्क. ओके, with the help of that network we can access the particular information. That is, network devices should be considered under that particular hardware. That is, to establish the database system environment, we require data, we require the hardware to access the data. Third thing is nothing but the software. Now here, to make the database system work properly, there are three types of the software are needed. First one is nothing but your operating system on the given computer. It is local computer operating system, or we consider the another way, that is the server operating system. We don't we don't consider the server operating system, but database can consider it. Okay, we consider only our local computer operating system. Then second thing is nothing but the database management software, which software you can use to access the data. That software is most important. That is nothing but the database management software. And last thing is nothing but the application program, from which application program you can access the data. Okay, in this case, if we access or if you want to access some library books, for that purpose we need to use library application. If you want to access the information from college website, for that purpose or college corresponding website application is required. You want to access the information related to that of a particular suppose you can consider another information related to that of the banking related information. Okay, you can use net banking also. In that net banking related or account related information can be accessed. For that purpose you require that banking related application, that is application program. It is the most important part. With the help of application program and software, DBMS software, these two things can run on a particular operating system, and we can access that particular data with the help of corresponding hardware system. Okay, now we can correlate all these things with each other. Then next thing is nothing but the user or the people who run the application program on a particular hardware and to access that particular information. There is multiple types of user. In this case, this component include all users of the database system. Now, according to the job nature, 5 types of user can be identified in case of the database system. Okay, user असेल तरच तुमचा ह्या 3 गोष्टींचा फायदा आहे किंवा उपयोग होऊ शकतो. जर ह्या तिघांना ऑपरेट करणारा युजर नाही किंवा पीपल नसेल, then this is not useful to you. Okay, we are the user to access the information. तुम्ही नेट बँकिंग यूज करता किंवा तुमच्या मोबाईल वरती फोन पे वापरत असाल, गुगल पे यूज करत असाल, दीज आर द ऍप्लिकेशन्स related to that of the particular transactions. Okay, banking related application, you require to recharge, you require to pay something. These applications can be handled. Who can handle that application? That is you are. Okay, you are the user of that particular application. Now, according to the nature of the particular user, according to the job of that user, they can be identified as a 5 types of user in database system. First one is nothing but the system administrator. System administrator means what? Those user who operate the operating system, who operate the complete database system, that is called as the system administrator. Okay, you can access your account only, you can't access the another account, another user account. That is, these tasks can be handled, that is we can access the multiple users account or to create the multiple user account. This is the task of system administrator. That is, system will be considered as a database system. ह्या database system चा जो administrator असेल त्याला ते rights असणार आहे. Normal user don't have that particular type of rights. That is the system administrator. Now next thing is nothing but the database administrator. बघा आता हा दुसरा टाइपचा administrator. System administrator, that is overall control of a database system, comes under this particular user. Okay, ह्या युजरच्या अंडर कंप्लीट डेटाबेस सिस्टीम जी आहे त्या सिस्टीमचं कंट्रोल त्याच्या अंडर येणार आहे. नाउ ओनली द डेटाबेस रिलेटेड कंट्रोल, दॅट इज who can access the data, who is the user of that particular data, whose account to created, the particular database user will be created according to the type of user or according to the information required to that user. The corresponding privileges can be assigned to that particular user. These tasks can be handled with the help of this database user. That is, database user can control only the database related information. ओके, डेटाबेस कोणता असायला पाहिजे, कशा पद्धतीने त्याचं डिझायनिंग असायला पाहिजे, कुणाला कुठली इन्फॉर्मेशन ऍक्सेस करता येईल, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर कन्सिडर्ड अंडर दिस डेटाबेस ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटर. ओके, दिस इज द टास्क ऑफ दॅट युजर. देन डेटाबेस डिझायनर. डेटाबेस डिझायनर इन द सेन्स टू डिझाइन द डेटाबेस. त्याचं काम काय असणार आहे, तुम्हाला काय इन्फॉर्मेशन स्टोअर करायची, कुठल्या ऑर्गनायझेशनची इन्फॉर्मेशन स्टोअर करायची, ती कशा पद्धतीने स्टोअर केली गेली पाहिजे, त्याच्या करस्पॉन्डिंग डेटा स्ट्रक्चर कसं असायला पाहिजे, याचं जे डिझायनिंग ज्याच्याकडनं केलं जाईल, ज्या युजरकडनं केलं जातं, दॅट इज नथिंग बट द डेटाबेस डिझायनर. अँड दिस डेटाबेस डिझायनर ओनली डिझाइन द पर्टिक्युलर टेबल स्ट्रक्चर अकॉर्डिंग टू द इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर ऑर्गनायझेशन. आणि हा डेटाबेस डिझायनर कुणाच्या अंडर काम करणार आहे, तुमच्या ह्या डेटाबेस ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटरच्या अंडर त्या ठिकाणी तो वर्कआउट होत असतो. त्यानंतर सिस्टीम अनालाइज अँड प्रोग्रामर्स. According to the database designer, the corresponding system or application program will be developed or designed or programmed with the help of this particular programmer, and programmer can use that particular, or programmer can develop the corresponding program when the corresponding system is analyzed by a particular analyst. Now these are the two user, or these are the two tasks which is handled by single person also, or we can consider two person also. Analyst वेगळा असू शकतो, प्रोग्रामर वेगळा असू शकतो, किंवा ज्यांनी अनालिसिस केलंय त्या सिस्टीमचं तोच त्या सिस्टीमला काय करू शकतो, प्रोग्राम करू शकतो, किंवा त्या सिस्टीमला त्या ठिकाणी डेव्हलप करू शकतो. दॅट इज द सिस्टीम अनालिस्ट or the programmer of that database system. And last one is nothing but the end user. End user means what? We are the end user to use the phone pay application, to use the Google Pay application. Okay, we are the end user. We don't need to consider what is the actual database designing corresponding to that application. We don't consider how the applications can be programmed. We don't consider how our account is managed by the administrator. Okay, we don't consider all these things. We require only the functionality of that particular application. तुम्हाला त्या applicationचे फक्त काय पाहिजे, functionalityची गरज आहे. आपण मनी ट्रान्सफर केल्यानंतर ज्या अकाउंटला, ज्या व्यक्तीला आपण ते मनी ट्रान्सफर केले त्याच्या अकाउंटमध्ये ते जमा होणं अपेक्षित आहे. तुम्ही दोघेही शेजारीच बसलेले आहात, बरोबर. माझ्याकडनं अकाउंट मधनं मी काय केले, पैसे माझ्या शेजारी बसलेल्या व्यक्तीला ट्रान्सफर केले. मी इकडनं ट्रान्सफर केल्यानंतर माझ्या अकाउंट मधनं ते कमी झाले आणि त्याच्या अकाउंट मध्ये ते ऍड झाले. वी रिक्वायर्ड ओनली धिस थिंग, दॅट इज आय ट्रान्सफर मनी, so my money is reduced and my nearest money will be added. Okay, we only consider this functionality. We don't bother about what is the actual processing can takes place at the behind of this particular complete process. माझ्याकडनं मनी डिडक्ट होऊन त्याच्याकडे ऍड होईपर्यंत मध्ये काय प्रोसेसिंग झालं याच्याविषयी आपण कुठल्याही प्रकारचा विचार करत नाही. दॅट इज नथिंग बट द एंड युजर ऑफ दॅट system. Okay, these are nothing but the four components considered under this database system. That is the environment. This is nothing but the environment: data, hardware, software, and the user corresponding to that of the system. Anyone is not available in the given system, then the corresponding database system will not work properly. If there is no data, there is no meaning for that database system. If there is no hardware, we can't run the software, or the people can't work on that particular data. Okay, we don't have any software, we have data, we have hardware, we have the people or user, but don't have a software to manage that particular data. Okay, there is not possible. Okay, all three things were present: data is present, hardware is present, software is present, but there is no person who operate it. Okay, that is the most important thing. That is, all these things, all these four components are the most important component of the database system. Okay, next thing is nothing but the, we can see this particular graphical structure which shows the component of that database system. Here, application program, more than one application program can run on this particular this is the hardware. Okay, this hardware consists the different types of software will be installed at this particular location. हे हार्डवेअर जे आहे, ह्या हार्डवेअर मध्ये तुम्ही जे सॉफ्टवेअर तुम्हाला गरजेचं पडतं, एक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टीम आहे, डेटाबेस सॉफ्टवेअर आहे, आणि करस्पॉन्डिंग ऍप्लिकेशन प्रोग्राम हे सुद्धा एक सॉफ्टवेअर त्या ठिकाणी यूज केलं जातं. And these are nothing but the end user. End user can access the data on this particular with the help of this particular hardware system. Okay, this is the graphical structure to represent the basic components of a database system. Okay, then next thing is nothing but some characteristics of a database management system. What are the characteristics of the database management system? It is the most important to that of the database now I am consider database management system. Okay, our database system is over, database system point is completed, and we can continue towards the characteristics of a database management system. Now it can provide the security and expose the access. Okay, database now these characteristics are considered according, or we can also consider the file system. Okay, file organization system. In that file system, we can consider some drawbacks. Over that drawback, we can have some advantages or corresponding characteristics of this DBMS system. Here, DBMS can provide the security and expose the access. Okay, better security can be provided by the DBMS and expose the access, that is to access the particular data properly. Then second one is self-portraying nature of a database framework. Self-portraying in the sense that is it can explain itself डेटाबेस हा सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी असतो, त्या ठिकाणी त्याचं एक्सप्लेनेशन आपल्याला मेन्शन करण्याची गरज नसते. नाउ वी कॅन सी द टेबल अँड वी कॅन इझिली आयडेंटिफाय व्हॉट इन्फॉर्मेशन इज टू बी स्टोर्ड इन दॅट पर्टिक्युलर डेटाबेस फ्रेमवर्क. ओके, देन insulation among the project and framework deliberation. Next property is nothing but support of various perspective on the information. That is, we can consider different types of information can be accessed with the help of database management system. तुम्ही टेबल एकच स्टोर केला, but we can have different types of information. Okay, then sharing of information and multi-user exchange handling. That is, we can access the single database with multiple user. Okay, that is the concurrent access will takes place in using the database management system. The next one is nothing but DBMS enables substances and relations among them to frame the tables. We can manage the different types of components. We can add the information of different objects into different tables, but we can interrelate to them with the help of different types of relationship which are provided by the database management system. आपल्याला या ठिकाणी वेगवेगळ्या टाईपच्या रिलेशनशिप्स प्रोव्हाइड केल्या जातात. आपण प्रत्येक ऑब्जेक्ट जरी सेपरेटली आपण सेपरेट टेबलमध्ये इन्सर्ट केला, इन्फॉर्मेशन त्यांची सेपरेटली इन्सर्ट केली, तरी सुद्धा आपल्याला त्या सगळ्या टेबलला काय करता येतं, कंबाईन करता येतं. आणि त्यांना कंबाईन केल्यानंतर त्यांना एकमेकांशी इंटरलेट आपण त्यांना दाखवल्यानंतर त्यांच्या कॉम्बिनेशन मध्ये आपल्याला इन्फॉर्मेशन काय करता येते, ऍक्सेस करता येते. Now, database can follows the acid properties. Acid property in the sense atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Atomicity means what? That is, data should be unique, stored in the given database. Consistency in the sense that is, we can access the data from any location at any point. Okay, if any one of the system is not able to provide such a data, then same data will be provided from the another location. That is, the consistency will be handled with the help of that particular database system. Isolation in the sense isolate, that data cannot interrelate to the other. We can easily access the particular data, that is the isolation. And durability in the sense how long you require the information, we can access that particular information. Okay, तुम्ही एकदा इन्फॉर्मेशन स्टोर केली, तुम्ही 10 वर्षांनी ती बघा, तुम्हाला त्या ठिकाणी ती अवेलेबल असेल. तुम्ही 100 वर्षांनी येऊन ती इन्फॉर्मेशन बघा, ती इन्फॉर्मेशन त्याच पद्धतीने त्याच फॉर्मॅटमध्ये तुम्हाला काय केली जाईल, त्या ठिकाणी प्रोव्हाइड केली जाईल. दॅट इज नथिंग बट द ड्युरेबिलिटी ऑफ द particular property. That is the acid property. Okay, and last thing is nothing but DBMS support multi-client condition that enables the client to access and control the information in parallel. That is, in this case, if we can consider single database management system, but we can have more than one user, okay, more than one client to access the same database. Now it is available, or it is possible with the help of database management system. That is, multi access or multiple client can access the same information at the same time. That is nothing but the multi-processing or multi access of the system. Okay, this is the characteristics all about that database management system. Now today we can conclude here. In the next point we discuss about the differences between the file system and corresponding database management system once again. Okay, today we can stop here. So